Ravel left us with just two concertos, both for piano. And they were written simultaneously. In the 1920s, Ravel embarked on this mad idea to try to write two quite different kinds of pieces at the same time. Very unusual. One of them was sort of traditional in that it was a concerto in three movements, his concerto in G major. It uses smaller orchestral forces, and the overall feeling of the piece is one of lightness, of humor, as well as a kind of Baroque throwback in the slow movement, a beautiful movement featuring the cor anglais solo near the end. But there are also inflections of jazz that come up in this piece, and that will tie it a little bit to the other concerto he wrote at the same time, the concerto for left hand. One would think that this was a one-off experience, a left-hand piano concerto. Well, why did it happen? Because a pianist named Paul Wittgenstein, who had lost his right arm during the First World War, asked Ravel to write him a piece. But Ravel wasn't the only composer that Wittgenstein asked. Along the way, works by Benjamin Britten, by Erich Wolfgang Korngold, by Paul Hindemith, and so many others were created for this pianist. But the one piece that remains in the repertoire is the one by Ravel. It's quite different than the G major concerto, written at the same time, in that it is a huge orchestra as opposed to the small forces in the two-hand concerto. And it's almost a work for orchestra with piano playing once in a while. The orchestral forces are quite dominant when they play, and the piano has two very, very extended cadenzas. There are, again, the references to American jazz. By this time, Ravel has met Gershwin in France, and they've become friends. The two concertos are remarkable pieces of work, both very active in the standard repertoire of pianists around the world. The other piece on the disc, the only other work that Ravel wrote for orchestra with soloist, is called Tzigane. Tzigane is a sort of Hungarian word, and it means gypsy. It's a work that is quite demanding of the soloist. It's only about 12 minutes long, but it begins with a fiendishly difficult cadenza, most of which is played on the low string of the violin, the G string, who eventually, as the violinist progresses, moves higher and higher and higher until it plays almost the top note that can be played on that string. Following that, they're basically a series of variations, each one giving different character, some in the gypsy manner, some with very strong French touches. For this recording, the orchestra's co-concertmaster, Jennifer Gilbert, is the soloist. And it's not every day that you get the leader of an orchestra to play a work this complex and this difficult. But I'm thrilled to have her name on this particular performance.